Well, he's our one of our great ambassadors. But let me tell you two stories that sort of capture the essence of the school. Um, the first is an email from a father a year and a half ago. Dear Mr. Snyder, if my son knew I was writing to you, he would never speak to me again. But I believe your school might save his life. He was a U.S. Marine. And about 10 minutes ago, well, he's there now in Scotland at our session right now. I'm going to read you the email I just got from his father 10 minutes ago. Hello, Don. Well, my son is with the guys in Scotland right now. If it weren't for you, this experience never would have happened for my son. The whole team you have working with this are incredible. I talked with him today, and I felt like I was talking to a different person. It was the first time in many years he sounded positive about where his life is going. He was lost for such a long time, and it's a miracle to see a smile on his face. As a father and a career veteran, I say this with all my heart. Thank you so much. My family is whole once again. That is what we're after. Now that I don't know whether that U.S. Marine will ever work as a caddy. We have 43 soldiers who have gone through the program so far. 36 of them are now working at some of the most peaceful and beautiful golf places on earth, including the #1 golf course in the world every year, Royal County Down in Northern Ireland, the Old Course, Bandon Dunes. They're all over the place, and I'm in touch with them every week, every one of them. Um,
Right.
but it's the healing that matters more. And that's the second story. So a Navy SEAL that I was interviewing for a session, this would have been about 2 years ago. When I had him on the screen, we were doing a Zoom. I said to him, I won't use his name. Navy SEALs have to be very careful about no publicity because there are people
Yep.
out there who would like to kill them. Um, but I'm looking at his face on the screen and I said, well, I'm glad you're coming to Scotland. And if you have a great experience there, maybe you'll tell some of your friends who need the healing and help. And he just looked right at me and said, all my friends are dead. And it turns out that all 17 of his fellow Navy SEALs in his unit were killed in the same instant when their helicopter was shot down just by a lucky shot by a Taliban with a, shoulder operated
An RPG. Yeah.
grenade. So his job then, because he was on another mission, his life was saved, but his job was to fly home with all 17 caskets, buried most of them at Arlington Cemetery. So when he arrived in Scotland, I'll tell you, his head was down. I didn't think he was going to make it, but he rose up bit by bit, day by day. Each day out there with a golfer was a healing for him. You earn the trust of a stranger at your side when you work as a caddy. And that is what makes you begin to believe in yourself again. It's a very, very simple but profound equation. And it sort of restores to you the kind of humble nobility that I think soldiers deserve. I mean, I grew up with the World War II soldiers. They were the fathers of my boyhood. They were
Right.
all just working class, simple men, ordinary people who do extraordinary things, but they had that humble nobility. And part of the reason I started the school was to honor that whole generation of soldiers. Anyway, so it got to be the last week of the session, and this Navy SEAL's parents flew over to spend a few days, and his mother took me aside and said, my son told me something last night that I never thought I'd hear him say. He said, I found a family here, something that I never thought I would find again. So that's part of our mission. As far as how it works, I raise all the money. Um, I've, I don't know how much I've raised. Each session costs about $50,000, but the Kohler company, they're the plumbing giants in the world,
Okay.
have been our great support. They gave us their golf course to use, the beautiful Duke's course in St. Andrews, to train our soldiers. And now they've bought us a 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom house, with about a pitching wedge from the golf course.
Nice.
So we now have a permanent home for the Caddie School for Soldiers. We can hold as many sessions a year as we want. Um, and my job my mission, my vision from the beginning was that not being a veteran, not being a soldier myself, I wanted this program eventually to be run by soldiers. And it is now. It's run by soldiers who went through the program themselves, went and worked a season as caddies, and now they run it all. And they're running a session right now as we speak in Scotland. Just finished a session yesterday at Whistling Straits out in Wisconsin, right where the Kohlers are. It's all been one miracle after another as I look at it, and these soldiers are always coming up to me, thanking me, and I always say the same thing: don't thank me, thank yourselves for your spirit of self-sacrifice, your willingness to trust us.